Welcome everyone to the Fuel Jetstream Media IndyCar series here for the second race of 19. We're here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for a very interesting race tonight. I'm joined by Eric Gonzalez as well. He's going to be our pit reporter for this race. But of course, before we get to the race itself, let's see what happened last week at Twin Ring Motegi.
The Fuel IndyCar Series kicked off its second season at Twin Ring Motegi. A star-studded lineup took the grid with 43 cars vying for just 33 spots. Notable drivers failing to set a fast enough time include Danny Roberts, Unkind Esports drivers Andrew Hewson and John Macchione, veterans Don Runkle and Johnny Martin, among others. Scott Eckert set down a blistering pole lap just shy of 210 miles per hour average, but early on Will Roberts grabbed the lead on lap 2 and looked to have speed. A lap 8 caution flew for John Wilco, getting slightly low on the racetrack and losing the back end. This would be a trend on the night for many drivers. When the race went back green, Tim Zillerman led the field with Travis Schauer in second. Zillerman held strong, but the oval novice Schauer struggled, at one point leading to a breathtaking 4, almost 5 wide moment. Quickly the caution would fly again, however, as this time it was Michael Hurley catching the apron and spinning, collecting fellow rookie James Pascalera in the 77. Zillerman still led on the restart and looked strong, but the yellow would fly again on lap 31, this time for Unkind Esports teammate Brian Delp, setting up some pit strategy. Travis Schauer would inherit the lead, while Brian Yaksic inherited second on the cycle. Schauer's lead would be short-lived, however, as Yaksic and Zillerman would both draft by entering turn 3. Chad Frankenfeld had a great debut, the Pennsylvanian starting third on the night, leading 8 laps, running in the top 5 for much of the race, and scoring points in 11th after a late strategy backfired. The race then entered into a short green flag run before the caution flew again on lap 57. Zillerman again played the strategy game and jumped Yaksic. Zillerman's hold on the lead would be short-lived though, as Yaksic shot back by on lap 64. Just 3 laps later, Ryan Daly jumped on point for the first time in the night. Back in the pack, defending champion Mitch Welker had a mostly forgettable night, running mid-pack and stopping on track on lap 73 with electrical issues. He finished 8th on late strategy. On the restart, Josh Gallagher led some of his first laps in the Fuel IndyCar Series, but it was Brian Yaksic who again snatched the lead. Again, his lead would be short-lived as Frankenfeld played the crossover to lead his first laps on the night. On lap 94, the caution would again fly. This time it was rookie Marshall Stanley catching the apron. Stanley and fellow rookie teammate Michael Schlegelmilch both ran strong races. Stanley started strong, but would be collected in trouble later on and finished 27th after a top 10 run, while Schlegelmilch would come home P5. On the restart, contact was made, sending Carl Handwerk hard into the turn 1 fence. He'd walk away stunned, but without injury. The next phase of the race would be where the action began picking up. James Korhula led from the green and would trade places with Loud Pedal Motorsports teammate Brian Yaksic several times. Caution would fly again on lap 122, setting up a wild dash to the flag. Some drivers decided to pit, others gambled and stayed out, leading to Korhula, Daly, and Roberts restarting in the top 3 spots. Korhula would take the win, holding off Daly and Roberts. Other notable finishes were Nick Cohen surprising in 4th, Schlegelmilch in 5th, Michael Krobach sneaking in as a surprise 7th, and Kyten Bommersbach snatching 10th. The Fuel IndyCar Series continues in 2 weeks' time, heading north of the border to Bowmanville, Ontario's Canadian Tire Motorsports.
So now, this week we are at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. This race is brought to you by Jetstream Media, and we do have the sponsor right here in the booth available with us for Jetstream Media Productions, actually, for this Fuel IndyCar Series race. And well, as we learn more about this company, we'll have the starting grid rolling at the bottom of the screen as well. So hello, and thanks for your time, and well, go ahead and just explain your company to us in general.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. It's great to have you join us today, and always good luck with this race. I did want to introduce myself. I'm Sarah Adams. I'm head of search and technology here at Jetstream Media. We are a full stack digital marketing agency. Now, what that really means is that we have all of the capabilities that you would need for any sort of digital experience, be it web development, search engine optimization, paid search, marketing, any sort of automation or database management. We literally do it all. And the big thing here is have a differentiator in that both John Macchione, who's an avid member and participant of this e-racing league, and I both have kind of this pedigree from doing um, profile in a variety of different fields and a lot of experience that we're bringing to the table. And what we realized was there's a kind of niche where medium to smaller businesses who just really the capabilities to hire someone at our level or the knowledge to even execute on that. So Jetstream Media comes in looking for those kind of middle type opportunities, people who really need that experience, need someone who could just come in and take over and give them a full strategy from the get-go and really kind of take their business to the next level. Uh, with our offerings, a lot of that aren't really seen outside of high-end corporate. And that is things that trying to sponsor events like Fuel Racing League is that, we see people who are going into a race and thinking through all of the elements, every single turn, every single lap you do. And we bring that to the table as well. Set. And so one of the big things that we wanted to do was partner about this opportunity. Definitely feel free to check us out. Our website is jetstreamagency.com. And feel free to reach out to us, even if you just want to talk esports racing. John and I are always around. Hell, we're avid members, so.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, and we appreciate you giving your time to sponsor this series as well. So we hope you enjoy the race as well and the
Absolutely.
broadcast.
Always, thank you.
So we thank her for her time, and well, proper timing as well as the green flag is about to fly here. Here at Motorsport, the green flag is underway for 55 laps, and once again, Eric is going to be over on pit road giving us some of the information, and well, might as well throw it to him right now and just see if there's any pre-race comments that he's gotten. And unfortunately, we won't be able to get to him at this very moment, as a few issues over on our end. But other than that, already in the lead is going to be Zachary Buchanan, very far out, first place, second place. Krahula directly behind them. The top 33 drivers made it into this race. And one of those drivers is pretty much already out for the time being, as we have a huge crash coming to the double right-hander portion of this racetrack, unfortunately. Unfortunately, a few technical issues there, but we will be showing a replay of that incident for sure. And it just happened. I believe the 96 of Josh Gallagher was involved in that incident. It looks like it started up just in front of him, and yeah, he just went, oh man, that was a solo incident by Gallagher there. He almost made it in, but unfortunately, he almost made it through that wreck, but unfortunately, there was just multiple drivers involved in that accident just in front. We'll see if we can get another replay of that incident. It looks like it was the number 10 of Anthony Callery. And we'll see if we can get a external shot here already on the first lap. We'll see if we can get the rest of the graphics up here in a few moments. For the 10, looks like a wide entry. Oh no, that was behind the 10. Oh, someone in the Red Bull spun, but the 56 was involved in that. The 21 as well as that also spun out in that incident. 56 also involved. So multiple drivers around early on in this race. Some drivers are already out. The full course caution is out on the raceway, and a huge crash again. The 75 just somehow manages to get through. That's the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. We'll see if we can get another replay on that. There's just multiple things going on this early on into the race. We'll fix the graphics over on the stream side, but we'll definitely be getting everything sorted out here in just a few moments' time. As early on, there are just multiple wrecks going on, so race control has decided to throw the caution. The 15 was one of those drivers involved. There are about 3 other drivers that were stopped, and we will see what we can do in terms of replays here. And oh my goodness, that's the number 6. Tim Stillman just threw it into the corner. Someone else got a little piece of that as well. That's the 82 of Ryan Kish. And another driver in the background was also involved. That's the 41 of Danny Roberts. We'll see if we can get on board with that machine right there. Hopefully it isn't too terrible from his camera angle, but, well, we'll see. See what it brings. And, oh, just nowhere to go. Oh, my gosh. Frankenfield just got nailed off the racetrack. And, well, Roberts tried to pull it off the racetrack as quickly as possible, possibly trying to slow it down for sure at the very least. But other than that, a very crazy race early on. So the field is under a full course caution now as we are back live here. And we'll see if we can finally bring Eric in after a few things are resorted out here. Actually, apologies, Eric. I think I was over on my end, but nope, other than that, everything's actually fine in terms of our sound. So, well, that was an interesting start for sure.
Yeah, it was. We're seeing these cars are very unstable guiding on the power. That's kind of been the theme throughout all of practice from what the drivers have been telling me. The race today is 55 laps. That's going to be 137.5 miles. You're going to be able to make about 27 to 30 laps. Most drivers are saying that you're going to be able to make about 27 laps. That's going to make it a 2 to 3 stop race. Speaking to some of the drivers, it's probably going to be more along the lines of a 3-stop race, but some drivers may try and make it a 2 to play the fuel strategy game there. Other than that, yeah, we're seeing a pretty close race so far. A lot of mistakes. People gotta get settled in here, and it's gonna be a nice long race.
And hopefully everyone can get settled in, but yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. First caution as well, thrown by race control as the track was essentially blocked at the time. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a replay up now that everything is properly set for the most part. Apologies for the temporary black screen that we will be having as we pull up this replay as well. As there's actually another car that was around, I believe, prior or just as the caution came out. That is the number 9 of Jack Enderick. But yeah, he just spun out. Ooh, almost got clipped as well. Somehow, some way. Doesn't hit the wall and no one hits him. He does take it off the track though, and he is over in pit road, I believe, as well, I'm not sure if we are 100% under caution or the lights are out. Actually, yeah, there's some drivers that are heading to pit road right now, so we're going to go ahead and head back live if we can. Apparently having just a couple of proper issues, but a few drivers have already decided to make their way into pit road a little bit earlier on. Someone's having some problems back there, actually, trying to get into their pit stall. That is the 00. And yeah, there's the pit stall. You can see the 00 just in front of 21, trying to get into his pit box. And yeah, he's definitely not going to be happy about this. He is very lucky, though, that this is under caution overall. So lights are still active on the pace car. So a very interesting start to this race as well. Apologies for the issues with the sound during the interview. That was more internet related, I believe, through over on our end and the software as well. But other than that, thanks again for the time to Jetstream Media and the representative that came in here as well. So other than that, this is it's just gonna be an interesting strategy play here throughout this race. Definitely for sure, Eric again. Eric Gonzalez over on pit road, being the pit reporter here for today's race, possibly for next week as well at ISM Raceway. Good old Phoenix Raceway. I am just a little bit biased for that, as we have 150 laps for that race next week as well at 7. Nope, that's that's local time over here. 9 p.m. Eastern time is when we will be live for that. As far as pit reporting goes, well, Eric is just going to be getting some comments for some drivers once in a while when he can, essentially, especially from drivers that may be out. We may be getting interviews also with some drivers that are pretty much out of this race. And, well, unfortunately, in addition to the drivers that did not make it, well, drivers that didn't make it overall, we have John Wilco, Scott Eckrich, I believe, Jeremy Johnston, Cade McKee, and K.C. Duncan. So those are the 5 drivers that did not make it into this race. They have to qualify in for into the top 33, sorry, to get into this race. So that's pretty much the general rule of the Fuel IndyCar Series. You qualify into the top 33, you make it into the race, and unfortunately they were one of the few. And already we had multiple drivers visit pit road, in a sense, either pass through or still sitting in pit road, and the 56 of Michael P. Hurley is one of those drivers. He's been in pit road for the past now 7 minutes. You can see he's missing a front right portion of his wing. He's not in his vehicle either, so I don't think we're going to be seeing him back on the track, actually. But other than that, the track map for this week we don't have on hand to show you as of now. But when we do get that, we will be able to. As well, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, they are just now heading, I have absolutely no idea actually, but we do have 10 turns here at Mosport, as we're actually just now heading to turn 5. There is turn number 6 right there, so the pace car is going into, along with the leader Zachary Buchanan. Going down the very long back straightaway here, even though it's not exactly a straight. Your pole sitter, James Krahula, probably sitting in second. Single follow restarts, of course, for this race. Your pole sitter actually started Zachary Buchanan sitting in first place. Last week it was James Krahula that had won. I'm going to get a double check on that. Yeah, James Krahula won last week at Twin Ring Motegi. Right now, the pace car heads down into turn number 8 and turn number 9 as well. There's turn 9, the right-hander, and then the final turn, turn number 10, the left-hander, the final right-hander.
Green flag.
Directions are a little bit confusing here at Mosport, but either way, green flag is back out. We are underway. We're going to take a look at the final few cars that come off these corners here. As Buchanan takes them down once again through this racetrack down to turns 1 and 2. Very long sweeping left-hander down into the right-hander. That is turn number 3. Down a little bit of a short shoot in a sense to turns 4 through 6. There's turn 4 right here. Here's turn 5, first right-hander, and then turn 6, the second right-hander. You can see how close James Krahula is right there to the back bumper. Well, it's not exactly close, but it is close in IndyCar standards, as everyone that does have a lot of space. Riding on board with Byron Daly now, so there's a little bit of cloud cover on the racetrack. That could also play into effect for this race. And just as a reminder, it's going to be at least a 2-stop race from what we got through Eric from this information that he's gathered.
And Gary, here with Frankenfield here. After that incident, Chad, what did you see?
I just got killed. I mean, that's all in the cockpit, and all of a sudden I just shut off. I guess he hit the curb. I don't know if that forced him to go wide, but yeah, I mean, it sucks. I put a lot of work in, obviously, trying to points and finishes. I'm going to be missing Indianapolis, so I'm trying to make up for it, which I can. So this definitely won't help.
With the little green you had there at the very beginning of the race, how did the cars feel? It looked like they were a little bit nervous going on.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be really hard to pass. Like really hard. There's really no passing, so I was just trying to be consistent and just try to log some laps. And, yeah, it's unfortunate. It is. I guess we'll go into the next one next weekend. See what we can get.
Okay, thank you for your.
In trouble just out of the right-hander contact between Byron Daly and the 55 of Brian Yazik. Huge contact. We're going to take a replay at that, as we just saw that just as it happened. Unfortunately turned away from it right at the last second, but that was actually Daly, unfortunately, that tried to make a move onto the inside lane. And we'll get an onboard shot here with that 06. Makes a move to the left-hand side, and contact. Just way too close at the wrong moment, unfortunately, to the 55. They're both still rolling, but Yazik, unfortunately, more than likely is not going to be too happy at that incident. So Daly and Yazik, they're both still rolling. As Mark Emerson has just gotten passed, I believe. Yes, he has. As we are now back live. That was originally for 5th place. Well, now that's completely out the window right now. 55 Yazik, off the corner into the dirt. I'll see if Daly has the pit road. He will not. So he does have a little bit of wing damage, but he's definitely going to try and just ride it home as much as possible. Your top 3 has broken away by about 0.5 seconds between 3rd and 4th, essentially. That's actually 2.5 seconds. Now it's about 3 seconds. As we get the comparison up here of the distance, about 3 seconds, unfortunately, between Welker and Bommersbach. Unfortunately, I cannot pronounce that last name for the life of me, but that is definitely Caton in the number 37. So this could play out to be a race between your entire top 3 here in a few moments.
And just a little update for Brian Yazik, and Brian is currently in 8th in the championship, and I'll have to get back to you on the 55. I believe that was Byron Daly.
Yep.
Byron Daly is in 2nd place in the championship, so this will definitely not.
Yeah, this is definitely not going to help Daly out whatsoever in the championship. He's already 16th at this point. Not seeing any visible wing damage at the moment, but we'll take a look at the 93. Well, looks like maybe a little bit of damage, actually. So trying to figure out which wing is actually correct. So yeah, Daly's front wing looks to be fine for the time being, but unfortunately that was not going to work out. I thought I just saw a driver that was off the track there for a few moments, but there was absolutely no one there. So the 55 of Yazik has actually made an improvement. He's up to 12th now for being moved down to 14th. He's going to be trying to get onto a charge for the time being, but right now it's not going to happen too well. Mitchell Welker, currently 3rd, has fallen back off of James Krahula, and Zachary Buchanan, as it looks like the 17 of Cohen Evans, and just made a pass on the 25 Marshall Stanley there down the front straightaway. But either way, it's going to be a very quick race. Kenneth McCoy around in the front straightaway off of the final corner of turn number 10. He takes it off the racetrack. Not sure what happened here, but we'll see what the replay is. And he had rear wing damage as well, and even more after that contact. He just spun it hard off that corner. Taking an onboard look here. He already had front wing damage on the left front. Tries to save it. Oh, man, you can see he was in 2nd gear as well, so that just did not help him out whatsoever. He's unfortunately now just sitting in pit road. So Motorsport not being kind at all to any of these drivers. So right now it looks like James Krahula has fallen back off the pace just a little bit from Buchanan, who is currently in the lead. So we could be seeing ourselves battle for second place coming in a few moments' time. Second closest, well, we have Chris Matthews is having just a few issues with connection, but either way, Will Roberts is just behind in the number 11th place position in the number 20, and just on the edge of the grass was that number 92. Barely saw it there at the edge of the screen, but he was definitely in the grass for a few moments, caused that grass to fly a little bit. He has heavy front wing damage, and the driver's already off the racetrack just in front of him. That is the 18 of Carl Handwerk, and he's definitely got a huge portion of front wing damage. That seems to be the pattern here at this racetrack. It's just front wing damage over and over again. Here's a replay as it's already up. Looks like he just overshot the braking for turn 6 or turn 5, and a hard shot just completely destroys that entire portion. And he's going to keep it on the racetrack. He elects to not go to pit road. That may cost him just a little bit. He's getting passed by Byron Daly now for 12th.
One thing I can tell you from personal experience, while it might not look like you're getting damage from the main wing, but you might be getting underfloor damage, so this could be an effect, or this could affect how some of the cars are handled.
Yeah, you're right. That underfloor damage could definitely disrupt the airflow ever so slightly, as Welker tries to make a move on the right-hand side of Krahula. Doesn't work for the time being, though. Tried to make a move for second, but it will not work. So, unfortunately for Welker, he will be stuck in third place for the time being, as C. Buchanan go right by into turn 1 there, just at the edge of the screen off of that shot. And, well, right now, Welker may just be better off riding in the back, trying to save a little bit of fuel with that slipstream as well, just in front of him. 26 of Michael is going to be making the pass on Daly. Actually, no, that's for Chris. That's actually a lap car. Apologies for that. That is the number 92 of Chris Matthews. So I was correct, actually. Live timing up here is a little bit off, but other than that, we are still rolling. As far as Phoenix next week, it's going to be quite interesting since, well, A, it's not a road course, and everyone is going to be a lot more spread out, more than likely, but it's going to be, I think, in my assumption, it's going to be pretty similar to NASCAR. A little bit of a group, and then it's going to start to slowly spread out over time, over the course of the race. But it's definitely going to be interesting coming from Mosport to ISM, as Krahula got a piece of the grass there heading into the on the straightaway just before turn 1. That is something you have to watch out for, so that the grass will immediately catch your car, and it will send you around or send you off the racetrack as well. It's about just
a little update on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I do have a brewing battle on the 55 and the 77 right now. This is for position number 8, as well as position 10 between Daly and Roberts. But well, there goes Daly around for position number 10, as Yasik is trying to put 77 to Pasquarella in some type of offensive or some type of defensive mode, maybe putting some pressure on for position number 8.
Speaking with Mitch Welker earlier this week, I asked him how he was feeling going into the race. He was pretty confident. His strategy was, just to play it safe, try and get as many points as possible. And he was looking at a conservative 2-stop strategy, so maybe saving a little bit of fuel to try and stretch to a 1-stop with these couple cautions with him.
Yeah, it could work out pretty well with that caution, especially the first one that we had. And the fact that he's pretty much directly behind, in a sense, that number 44 of Krahula, as Daly gets by Pasquarella for position at number 9. That's going to help out Welker in a sense, since he does have a little bit of slipstream. He has more to save, just that little bit more to save. So hopefully he'll be able to find his way in the top 3 by the end of this race. But Daly right now is going to be on a tear as Yazik takes a very wide exit through turn 5, trying to leave the right-hand side open for that 06 of Byron Daly, but unfortunately that just was not the case. Daly is on top of that back bumper, right-hand side down the back straightaway. This next corner is going to be a right-hander, so we'll see if it will help out Daly at the long run through this corner. He does have the defensive line into this corner, and he will make it through. No, he won't, because Yazik fights back on the inside, coming to turn number 10 at the start-finish line. Oh, it's position number 8 for Yazik. But Daly's trying to do some type of a move on the left-hand side, and he still has that preferred line. This is absolutely impressive, the 06 of Daly, as finally he gets by, but Yazik is not letting him go. This is an interesting bout for position number 8, but well, there goes Yazik, unfortunately. He'll be falling back. For the time being, Will Roberts is off in the background in the grass, and he still stays in 11th for the time being. The 26 of Michael S., whose last name I definitely cannot pronounce, is going to be trying to make a move for that 11th place position. Unfortunately, so many drivers have sustained so much damage is that 23rd through 33rd are now officially out of this race. They have taken that much damage throughout this entire race. 96 of Josh Gallagher was one of those drivers that was actually, in a sense, involved in one of those earlier incidents. He's 2 laps down, but taking some tires while he still can, as he's down and away off of pit road. So drivers that actually have not pitted so far is your entire top 10, consisting of Buchanan, Krahula, Welker, Wood, Evans, Stanley, Bombersbatch, Daly, Yazik, Pascarella, and position number 13, Chris Matthews. So whether it be from damage or just actual pitting strategy, there's only 11 cars that have yet to go to pit road for the time being. Well, the 26, Michael S. was off the racetrack, almost got tagged by the 26 as well. He's got some heavy, he's got no right front wing actually, left front wing rather. We'll take a look at the replay and see what happened, and it looks like coming into turn number 6, he had just overshot the corner, unfortunately, and well, let's see what happened here. He takes the break, and that's the, second person that has done that. Oh my gosh, a hard shot completely taking off the left front portion of that front wing as well. So that's really not going to help out in the long run for that number 26, who gets even more contact when he's trying to come to pit road. Took a tire barriers with him, essentially. But unfortunately, he has to head to pit road for the second time today just to repair that damage. And well, it's bad luck to worse luck for Michael. And unfortunately, bad luck to worse for James Pasquarello. He is stuck in the tire barriers. That's actually coming into turn 1. Wrong graphic there, but this is a replay. Oh, he tried to hang on to it. He tried to break in time. I believe personal experience would show that the personal experience, the best would be, that's the unfortunately wrong graphic again, but replay coming up as Pasquarello is now in pit road as he's gotten towed back. He locks the brakes up, but unfortunately just completely has no chance whatsoever to really react to that. Andrew Wood is in pit road in that number 32, taking some tires, routine pit stop, I believe, as Pasquarello is. Unfortunately, he's left with that damage for a while. James Krahula from 2nd, now down to 8th in real time. He is off the racetrack. Same thing has happened to him through turns 1 and 2. Not sure why the incorrect graphic is being played, but other than that, replay coming up. Krahula is actually already missing a front wing. We'll see if we can track down where that happened, but the same thing, and oh, this time he flipped over twice, and Krahula still manages to get it going, but somehow, some way, Krahula runs into more bad luck. We'll see if we can track down where he lost his front wing as well. And, well, that was just off of turn number 10 even. So this is not going well for the 44 today. He lost that second place just off of turn 10. A hard shot into the outside wall. So that moves Welker up to 2nd, Evans to 3rd. And then there was the the missing portion of the front wing caused him to lose any type of steering ability whatsoever. He's still on the racetrack at the moment. He's trying to get back to pit road as we are now back live. He's finally in.
And
pit
you
road.
you hate to,
Go ahead.
you hate to see it for your first winner. Sorry here your race winner from last week, rookie driver, and it's just mistakes you make sometimes, and so you hate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the mistakes that just come around to cost everybody and himself. So Zachary Buchanan, routine pit stop. He's in pit road now, relinquishing the lead to, as you see, the shared pit stalls in effect here. You see the 40 up on 4 wheels. He's sharing the pit stall with the number 5 of Brendan Minto. That's how many drivers are here at this racetrack, and that's how many drivers, that's how many pit stalls that this track has. As Buchanan is back out of pit road, Welker may have a little bit of a chance to head into pit road, I should say, but he may be staying out trying to save fuel. Evans is a ways behind him as here's Welker down the back straightaway, heading into turn number 9. As Evans is just now in the middle of the back straightaway as well. So they're about 9 seconds, actually, 9.5 second difference.
And Gary, hate to interrupt you here. We got a tip from the first wreck with Chad Frankenfield. Tim, what did you see happen, and how was the car handling with those first few laps?
I mean, the car was handling fine. Basically, the thought process of that whole move was that I came out of the hairpin and I was like, this is probably my chance to get around Chris probably now because I was that close. So I hit, the push to pass button. And I was like, I'm going to draft the way down the back straight. And then I was able to do this in practice where I could set myself on the outside going in the right S, then be on the inside on the left S to have the angle going into the last corner because he would have gone wide. And I was like, if I have the whole back straight to draft, I should have enough room to make that move. And, I don't know if I didn't have enough awareness that I could have been maybe a bit tighter on him going to the right to be able to make the left, but then I ate too much curb. So, then it pushed me off and then I, hit him. Not that I was aiming to do that whatsoever, but, that's just how it happens, so.
It seems from what we've from the incidents we've had that the cars are a little bit loose. Did you see that in your practice, or?
Honestly, the car felt fine to me. I didn't really have. I mean, I didn't have much problem. I guess I should have been more cognizant of maybe the other drivers and knowing how they were handling it. But I was like, if I'm, this is a good opportunity to do it now. So I just went for it as opposed to waiting 10, maybe 15 laps to get around somebody. So, this is how.
That was Tim Silman.
All right, well, thanks, Tim, for that time, as well as Eric for finding out what happened with Tim, tracking him down as well over in the pit road area. Byron Daly is now in the lead after accidentally taking another driver with him earlier on when trying to make a pass. But other than that, it's a relatively calm race. We've only had one full course caution as Evans is now in fourth. So we have your top 5. Byron Daly is in first. Zachary Buchanan second, trying to track down the 06 of Daly. Mitchell Welker is not going to let that second place go because he is going to be, well, he's back in third actually. His highest position was first place, as you see. Cohen Evans in fourth. Will Roberts, a race high of position number 5 instead of seventh, as it shows incorrectly there on the graphic. But other than that, 30 laps to go here. And after the first caution, this race has been relatively calm for the most part. Chris Matthews in pit road in that number 92. As you can see, Buchanan there just in the background, trying to chase down Byron Daly as quickly as he can. He's got about 6.7 seconds to make up, though, for that first place position. And never mind, Daly hasn't pitted. I was about to bring up that he has not yet pitted. Not 30 laps to go. Here comes Daly to pit road. That's going to give the lead over to Zachary Buchanan in this number 40 once again for the second time. And we'll see Byron Daly's led across the start-finish line. No, he hasn't actually. Zachary Buchanan has led across the start-finish line, so that bumps him up to 22 laps led so far today.
Now we are reaching that 27 to 30 lap window where you're going to have to start coming in for fuel because it's going to.
Yeah, you are correct. So it could be great planning by Byron Daly here, pitting on essentially coming to lap 27 in a sense. So everyone at this point has pretty much went to pit road at least once. Some drivers have unfortunately stayed in pit road for an extended amount of time. Unfortunately, multiple drivers out again from earlier on in this race about the first lap wreck, as there's a driver off the track just in front of Byron Daly. That is Andrew Wood. He is, well, now he's in 7th place as Byron Daly moves up to the 6th place position. Buchanan, it's a little bit of a comfortable gap here, about 6.5 seconds between himself and Daly at this time, or himself and Welker, I should say. As Welker is currently sitting in second, he's got about 5 seconds, 5.1 seconds to himself and Cohen Evans. And, well, I was going to say Will Roberts is a little bit relaxed. Unfortunately, he is not, because he has Travis McQuiston just breathing down his neck for that 4th place position as much as he can. He's trying to do whatever he can at this point, but right now Roberts doing a pretty good job at hanging on to that position as much as possible.
Speaking with Will Roberts, his. Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. He's that's a commentator's curse 101 right there, because as soon as I said that, turn 5, he overshoots and he goes off the track. So that's, I believe, the 3rd person that we've seen, at least on camera, go off the racetrack. But go ahead.
Speaking with Will earlier the week, same about time I was talking with Mitch and all them. He was saying he felt cautiously optimistic because road courses aren't exactly his strong suit. Sadly, we saw the example of that, and he was just trying to keep it on the tarmac as long as he could and get a hopefully good result after.
And hopefully he will be able to. He's currently back to 4th place. He slipped down to 5th, but McQuiston had went to pit road, as you saw there. So everyone is, again, relatively spread out for the most part. It's a very calm race for the time being. McQuiston is just now exiting pit road as quickly as he can with the pit speed limiter, of course. And now he's officially out pit road. He can just go whatever speed he wants. And at this point, well, some drivers have yet to actually go to pit road, because some haven't pitted for the last 20 whatever laps. Some pitted about lap 4, in a sense, pretty much within the first 10 laps. Will Roberts is one of them. He's been on the track. He hasn't really pitted for 24 laps. Same with Mark Emerson. He hasn't pitted for 25 laps. Gale Brooks hasn't pitted for 24 laps. Nick Cohen hasn't pitted for 25 laps. And Danny Roberts, unfortunately, lap down. He hasn't went to pit road for 20 laps at this time. So they've been out on the racetrack for essentially that long. And, well, the person with the lowest stint, if you will, on the racetrack is Travis McQuiston, but don't count Chris Matthews in the 92 and Byron Daly. They both have 3 laps on their stint at the moment. And Daly's going to chase down Roberts again for position number 4. And into turn 6 right now, just coming out of that onto the back straightaway. We'll be heading to a break in a few moments, but not the moment, because, well, Daly making a move for position number 4, and we'll be waiting to see if anyone else decides to head to pit road. So Zachary Buchanan, 26 laps led, 25 laps to go. He's led all but 5 laps, essentially. Mitchell Walker is in 2nd. 3rd place is Cohen Evans. As I saw a little bit of a timing issue on Travis McQuiston. Not sure if that was because he was heading into pit road and he's off the pace. But other than that, he's going to be getting lapped here in a few moments. But our top 3 consists of Zachary Buchanan, Mitchell Walker, and Cohen Evans. We'll be going, we'll be going double wide here, as you'll be seeing the race, and you won't be really missing anything. But we're going to take a little bit of a break here, but stay tuned, as this is the Racing Line Broadcasting Network bringing you the Jetstream Media IndyCar series here for race number 2 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, also known as Motorsport. 24 laps to go. Zachary Buchanan leads.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online
Well, we are back. Unfortunately, the internet has gone out. We're working on getting the picture back up as soon as possible. Again, that was completely out of my control whatsoever, so did restart that as soon as possible. We'll see how many laps are left in this race. We're for sure doing a post-race interview, but apologies once again for all of this, as it was completely unplanned. So try to get that as back as soon as possible. When we get back into the race, we'll bring you as many remaining laps as there are. But again, apologies for that. That was, again, 100% unplanned and possibly the worst timing possible.
So a little bit of an update here. We are on the drivers are on lap 44 of 55. So I hear leader is Mitch Welker, and he has made his.
You actually had cut out there, Eric. I believe you were mentioning a final pit stop.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Mitch Welker is currently leading with about 10 to go. He has made his final pit stop, so he is.
Okay, thanks for that, actually. Good having a pit reporter helping out. That is on the same internet, unfortunately. So we'll get the picture back. It is loading in as of right now. So again, apologies for the sudden issues, but that's good to know for the updates. So we'll see if this can get back up and hope that everything stays through to the end. Next week, hopefully we won't have this problem. In this case, I won't have this problem. So yeah, apologies to the viewers as well. Hopefully you're still here watching the race. Apologies again for the internet. But everything is back up and working, so get this set up one more time, and we will head through. It's a good thing, though, that it was through at least a commercial break and, you know, nothing 100% sudden. So we're back live with 10 laps to go. Mitchell Welker, first place. Second place is Zachary Buchanan, as paints will be loaded incorrectly. Third place is Byron Daly. Cohen Evans is in fourth. Fifth place is Andrew Wood. Sixth, Marshall Stanley. We're going through your entire field at this point. Seventh is Caden Bombersbach. Sorry, it's Bombersbach. Bombersbach, however you pronounce his last name. Chris Matthews is in eighth. Will Roberts, ninth. 10th place is Gail Brooks. 1 lap down as of now. Chaz McQuiston, 1 lap down. In 11th, 12th, Nick Cohan, 1 lap down. And at 13th, it's going to be Mark Emerson, also 1 lap down. 2 laps down are Danny Robertson, 14th, and Carl Handwerk in 14th and 15th. 16th, Brendan Minto, 5 laps down. So we are back. Brendan Minto is actually about to go 6 laps down here in a few moments, unfortunately. But other than that, any other comments that you managed to get during that worst timing of an outage?
You know, a lot of the guys were focused on driving, so I wasn't able to get too much. But, you know, Mitch Welker leading the race, it's not too surprising. Him and Zach Buchanan were some of the fastest guys, especially on the road course last season. So, and Mitch Welker being your defending series champion. So, not too surprising that we're seeing them at the front.
Yeah, he did say that he wanted to get a great run as well, like you mentioned earlier on, but he's got Buchanan sort of breathing down the back of his neck right here. Not too much, about 1.4 seconds back. It doesn't look like much on, oh, there we go. It doesn't look like much on camera, but definitely is enough to see throughout here. There it is. There's the difference. It's about 1.5 seconds. As you can see, the light speed machine of Welker is currently leading with soon to be 8 laps to go. Chris Matthews is now currently in the pit road area, and as well as Brendan Minto, so he's definitely 6 laps down at this point. For the time being, it's going to be both Welker and Buchanan. Unfortunately, completely through that error, apparently we lost all information, essentially, for the most part, in terms of real time on who led how many laps, but that should be over on the standings after the race, so we'll get that through if available by the end of the post-race interviews as well. See who led how many laps, or at least the most laps, lead changes, all that fun information.
Now, I'd hate to lie to you here and say that Mitch and I are not rivals, but there's a mild rivalry between the two of us in the series, and now that doesn't influence what I'm about to say, but Bo is better than Lightspeed.
My goodness. Are you sure about that?
100%.
Alright then. Yep, totally no bias. You heard it here first, everyone. Buchanan, though, actually has dropped 0.4 seconds since that, so we'll see what the comparison shows. It's been fluctuating ever so slightly just for a little bit. 1.7 seconds now, and Buchanan's got a little bit of a lap car in front of him. Well, not anymore. That's behind him. That is Will Roberts. He's had an okay day for the... Nope, never mind. Right when I said that, he goes off the track, overshoots. And I believe the same problem happened to... I believe Buchanan had also overshot ever so slightly as well. He did coming into the corner. There's actually a bit of grass on the racetrack as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of grass on the track that could have gotten on the tires. Yeah, Buchanan went a little bit wide as well as the more issues again in turns 5 and 6 for Will Roberts. I was about to say he's having an okay day, and right when I said that, well, commentator's curse happens, and he goes off the track, destroys the front wing on that left-hand side of that machine. So, unfortunately, it's very visible, actually. We can get a onboard shot here. There it is on the left-hand side. That's definitely going to be killing the aerodynamics, and yeah, he almost goes off the track there, but he's going to hang on to it, hopefully, at least limp it home to the end of this race. But Buchanan now is 2.6 seconds, basically 2.7 seconds, sorry, off of Mitch Walker. Well, now it's going to be 2.4 seconds, so it's going to be fluctuating. There's the difference, as you saw Buchanan there just in the background. It doesn't seem like it's 2.5 seconds, but it definitely is at this rate for that number 40 machine.
And talking about Will Roberts here, you hate to see it. He's currently third in the points. He finished third last season. Thought he had a good chance to try and compete with Mitch. Just kind of fell short there at the very end. With some bad luck, but it doesn't seem like his luck's turning around for him this season.
Yeah, hopefully it will be able to as well. But other than that, it's just going to be interesting to see how these final 5 laps are taken, essentially, by this number 40 machine. Because he's going to have to be insanely smooth. He's dropped the gap down to us now 2 seconds. We're just right on board with him, essentially, for the rest of... Ooh, well, maybe that would have been great timing. Because you saw how sideways he was off of that corner there, off turn number 6. My goodness, that was insane timing, but great by... My goodness, that was just great by Buchanan to save that machine as well. So these front two are also Project 2 teammates. So think of Project 2 finishing 1-2 as well, because that'd be pretty interesting. Just a little bit wide on the dirt. It's what everyone's been doing for this entire race. With 4 laps to go now, well, it's going to be essentially Mitch Walker, who's the past champion. That's what the number 1 represents. That the number 1 in this series by the driver is the past champion. So past champion definitely showing a little bit of renewal here, essentially, for the... I believe it's actually... I believe he mentioned just before last week in our off week when I was talking to him. I believe he mentioned... Oh, no, there goes Buchanan into the tire barrier. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, yeah, he is... he is definitely done for the day. Buchanan off the racetrack and a hard hit into the tire barrier. He got loose, broke loose, and just nowhere to go. A hard shot into that tire barrier. Well, now it's... And it better be. Other than that, 3 laps to go. And, well, unfortunately, Buchanan is virtually out of this race at this point. So, I believe that's the second time I've have a little bit of commentator's curse there. So I'm not going to say anything in relation to how anybody is doing, but Byron Daly's up to second. Cohen Evans is third place. So we'll be getting an interview with your top 3 after this. And I'm not going to say anything on how well anyone else has been doing. The last time I said that was Will Roberts when he was in turns 5 and 6. Twice, actually, I believe. So That's about 3 times that we've had a commentator's course for this race, at least for me.
Here, remind me to pay you not to say anything good about me when we get.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I will. I'll keep that in mind.
And I feel better about myself after that, because I was gonna say last season Zach and Mitch finished 1-2 in the second race of the season, so they're coming back for a repeat. Beat me to the gun, and think you put the blame on you.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a bit. Oh man, well, I'm not gonna say anything, but we do have 2 laps to go. And Byron Daly is actually chasing down Mitch Welker. So Byron Daly's been all over the racetrack in terms of positioning. He's been, well, we'll see what the highest stat says. 3rd place. Okay, 2nd place actually. I should remember that as all of our settings got reset here in a sense. All the information from that outage that we had. Other than that, so from Canada apparently not knowing how to have proper internet, at least motorsports specifically. Welcome to having welcome to having multiple transistors on the racetrack. 1 lap to go. And Byron Daly again, he's been all over the racetrack. He's been under all over the track in terms of positioning. He's been about, I believe his lowest position was about 14th. Just as a rough estimate, but he definitely has been under the top 10 at one point in this race. He's 1.5 seconds back from Mitch Welker, and this is the last race. 1.2 seconds now as they head down into what is going to be the right-hander turns 5 and 6. Onto the back straightaway they go, and we'll see what happens after this. Because, well, Byron Daly has 3 more corners to make something happen, but I don't think he'll be able to make it. We'll find out, though. Welker's in the lead. Daly's second. Coming down into turns number 8, the right-hander right here. The left-hander of turn number 9, and the right-hander turn 10. Checkered flag is going to fly. The past champion, Mitch Welker, he picks up his first win of the season in this Fuel Jetstream Media IndyCar Series race. Byron Daly finishes 2nd. Cohen Evans has yet to finish 3rd officially, as he's not going to cross the start-finish line as of now. He'll make his way through essentially was the S's of turns 8 and 9, then a final right-hander of turn number 10. Congrats to Mitch Welker as Cohen Evans comes off of turn number 10, and he'll finish in 3rd place tonight. But for the time being, Mitch Welker, great job by him to hang on, and well, like you mentioned, Evan, he did play into a very great strategy, and he's done a wonderful job at that as well.
Yeah, and you know, props to him. Last week he finished in 9th, I believe it was. 8th, and a track that he wasn't too confident at, Motegi. But coming into this one, even I believed him that he was going to have a good result from this, maybe a top 3. But you know, definitely got that. I think he's going to be very happy with this win, his 3rd of his career in the series.
It's absolutely a wonderful job as well. Everyone's taking a little bit of a very slow cool-down lap, and I believe we can officially go over your finishing results here tonight. So we have in this final race, or not final race, I should say, it's Mitch Welker's going to do some donuts early on. He finishes in 1st, Byron Daly 2nd, 3rd is Cohen Evans. Andrew Wood finishes in the 4th place position. 5th place goes to Caden Bombersbach. Again, however you pronounce his last name. Marshall Stanley finishes in 6th. 7th is Chris Matthews. Travis McQuiston finishes 8th. 9th is Will Roberts, and 10th will be Gale Brooks. Everyone is pretty much a lap down from pit stops, thankfully, instead of wrecks. So again, down to about 17th on back, but first we have to go through Nick Cohan, who finishes 11th, Roberts, Buchanan, Emerson, and Handwork, all 11th through 15th. Brandon Minto, 16th. And then we get to the drivers that were involved in a few incidents, being Tyler Dulger, Brian Yazik, James Kerhula. Unfortunately, we saw what happened to him. Josh Gallagher as well involved. He finishes in the 20th. James Pascarella, Michael S., whose names I still cannot pronounce. Evan Adams, unfortunately, also involved. Kenneth McCoy, Anthony Caleri, Don Runkle Jr., Matthew Warner, Chad Frankenfield, Jack Enderick, and Ryan Kish, as well as your final 3 drivers is Tim Stillman, Travis Shaver, Michael P. Hurley, running out your 33 car field. 34th through 38th did not qualify for this event, hence they did not make any laps whatsoever. So we're not going to take a break. We've had enough of that with the impromptu break that we've had. So we'll see what we can do, as we're going to have I'm going to wait just a little bit, but we're definitely going to be getting Mitchell Welker here for his race win. Eric, go on ahead.
Well, we're down here victory lane with Mitch Welker, your first win of the season and your 3rd race of your career here in the Fuel IndyCar Series, or sorry, Fuel Jetstream IndyCar Series, I should say.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, a few technical issues for a second. We're going to fix that really quickly here in just a couple of moments. But yeah, apologies for that. Go on ahead with the interview. Forgot to get the sound setting correct for that.
Well, first of all, I'm just really happy for this new team project too. Here, me and Zach have really been working hard. We split off from Cordis last season, kind of went off on our own, and we're really happy with where we're at right now. This is our home track. We've kind of designated it as. And, you know, I really feel for Zach that he just got landmine with a few laps to go there, and it's just really unfortunate. We could have had the 1-2, but at the same time, I'm just really happy to be back in victory lane. You know, I thought with all the new talent coming into the season, it'd be really tough, but you know, things just turned out this race.
You were saying earlier on in the week that you wanted to try and play it conservative with the 2-stop strategy. We cut out before you made the pit stops, but I don't know if you pulled off the 1-stop.
I did end up with the 2-stop. All the leaders did the 2-stop, so 1-stop was not really a viable option.
Here you go.
Yeah, well, before we go ahead and let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for your first place finish here, your race win for today?
I don't know. I guess Zach and all the viewers back at home. Zach really raced me well. He put on a good race, and you know, I just could wish I had him there at the end. So.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations again on your race win here at Motorsport.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the sorry, Eric, but next up we have the second place finisher being Byron Daly, who's been pretty much, I'd have to say, up and down the field more often than a elevator, I guess. That's the off the top of my head thing. But my goodness, Byron, you have done an impressive job on somehow, some way figuring out what to do and how to somehow get back up to second place throughout all of that race.
Yeah, I was fairly surprised that the race went as well as it did. That move there, and I'm trying to remember the corner names right now, and I'm just like kind of pumped after all that. But I hated that contact that happened that set me that far back. I felt like I may have tried a move that maybe a little optimistic, but at the same time, I didn't slide up or anything, but set us back, and somehow we fought back to second place. That was amazing.
It's absolutely impressive. What was the strategy that you've had there for your pit stops? Because again, 55 laps essentially throughout this, about 2-stop race estimated. You again somehow managed to finish position 2 out of all of that, and there's the one pacing that we had as well, the one full course caution. So did that play into effect your strategy?
Well, honestly, the full course yellow probably hurt me because I was close enough to Yasser to try to make a move. But no, I just decided that after what happened there, I ran long on the first tank and kind of just split the last run in half and just ran as fast as I could. So running the last stint, two stops, whatever. I'm still jacked up over this, but running half fuel at the end there really helped with my lap times, and it did more work for me than I ever thought it would. It was a really good strategy and kind of just worked out by luck.
Yeah, that luck definitely pulled off. Before we give you a chance to shout out everybody, what are your thoughts heading into Phoenix for next week?
Well, Phoenix is a short track, so it's tougher with these cars for sure because there's just less places to place your car to get other people's dirty air. So I'm very interested to see how the racing will be there. But I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun to to race these cars and race this league. Um, honestly, I might actually miss the race because of work. Just thinking about it, but we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will see. Before we go ahead and let you go celebrate your second place finish, sorry about that. Who would you like to shout out for your second place?
Well, I'd just like to thank the Fuel IndyCar League for putting on this league. It's awesome to be able to race open wheel cars with a strong field, and it's just a lot of fun. You guys for broadcasting it. I'm sure it'll be fun to watch here later. So that's all. Just thanks to everybody who puts this on.
Well, we are going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations on your second place.
Thank you.
So that was Byron Daly, and the third place finisher we have. We're going to send it over to Eric. He has caught up with Cohen Evans.
Cohen, really good third place finish there. How did your strategy play into?
Yeah, it's just a pretty uneventful night, just pitting with everybody and pitting when I ran out of fuel, just all that.
From our vantage point up here in the booth, it looked like the cars were going about a bit on the throttle. Did you feel that it was a little bit unstable, or were you feeling pretty?
It was pretty fine for me. I didn't have too many problems tonight.
So this is something Gary's been asking the last couple of guys. You got anyone to shout out before we send you off here?
No, not really. Just congrats, Mitchell, for the win and winning the championship last season.
Gary, if you got anything else
No, that's pretty much it. So thanks for your time, though, Cohen, and we hope to see you again next week.
Thank you.
So that almost does it for this in terms of actual other broadcasts, hopefully where the internet won't cut out next time. Sunday holds the My Turn Racing Truck Series. They had their second to last race here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network at Atlanta. And then Monday night, the night directly after that at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the Red Light Scrambler Series heads to Stafford, not Texas. That's the incorrect photo, unfortunately. But they head to Stafford in the K&N cars. And next Thursday for the Fuel IndyCar Series, or Fuel Jetstream Media IndyCar Series, rather, we head to ISM Raceway for 150 laps, actually. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what that holds. So, Eric, any closing thoughts you have for this race?
Well, it was a pretty interesting race overall. We saw some good action, saw some incidents, a few good drivers taken out. That was pretty sad to see, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Other than that, I've got a few stats for you for the race. For 55 laps, it took 1 hour, 2 minutes. We had 4 leaders with 7 lead changes, 1 caution for 3 laps. From 6th on back, those were all lap down cars, and that's pretty. Oh, another one last thing. Sorry, Zachary Buchanan has gotten the bonus point for most laps led and for pole position. So sad to see that he had that incident where he spun. if we have time to pull him in here and get his thoughts on that, see what he says. But
yeah, I don't see why not.
all right. Well, on that note, we have Zach Buchanan. Zach, you had a really good run there. You were fighting for the lead until the end there. It's sad to see you, have that spin. Just nothing you could have done about that.
Sorry, could you repeat the end of that?
What were your thoughts on the whole race?
I don't think I've ever been so frustrated after an iRacing race before. It started out so well for me, but then I think it was lap 35 or so. I must have hit one of those landmines because I just had I had damage out of nowhere, and I lost like half a second a lap. Mitch caught up to me in like no time. And then when it came time to pit, I got required repairs, and then to have it end like that when I was chasing him down was just extremely frustrating for me.
Yeah, we hate to see it, but you had a really good run overall. We're not going to blame Gary for possibly commentators cursing you. Love you, Gary. But yeah, hopefully, we'll see you have a good run at ISM. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Phoenix is one of my better tracks in this car, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, yes, in this case, we're probably going to go ahead and let you go. Hopefully, ISM is definitely a lot better compared to this track in terms of luck. So we hope to see you bet yourself next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
And it's really unfortunate for Zach Buchanan, as well as the fact that he finished essentially 13th. So those 2 bonus points are really going to help out, because I believe it's the top 12 finishing drivers that do get bonus points, or not bonus points, sorry, but actual points. So it's like I believe the actual IndyCar series, where a specific portion of the field does end up getting points, and yeah, Buchanan has almost missed out on that. Those 2 bonus points really helped him out there.
I'm gonna see if I can get you a update on the points standings.
Oh no,
actually, yes, I can. Okay, do you have?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So point standing updates we have not in the form of any graphics yet, since of course it's a little bit complicated to do. But in terms of point standings, we have Byron Daly is now your new points leader in first place with 32 points. Mitchell Walker has moved up 6 positions. He's in second place with 25 points in the point standings. 20 points, James Krahula has been shoved out of the point standings. He's down to third. Fourth is Will Roberts with 18 points. Cohen Evans with 14 points gains 9 positions. And tied for fifth with him is Nicholas Cohan with 14 points. And we also have, essentially in seventh place, Caden, well, actually, no, we're going to stick with the top 5, actually. But we do have Caden Bommersbach, Andrew Wood, Michael S., Tim Silman, and more drivers that have fallen out. So it's quite interesting to see all of that happen just after the first race. So Byron Daly, and so we have Daly, Welker, and Evans, who have really gotten the greater end of this for this week. But other than that, if you want to see more of the Race Online Broadcasting Network, we do have a Facebook page now for once, or in this case, oh yeah, we do have a Facebook page. We have, it's over at facebook.com/Racing Broadcasting Network, word for word. As well as if you want to keep up to date with any other live streams that are coming up here, well, just go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It's just that red button down over just below the video. Unless you're on mobile, then in that case it's over on the left-hand side, just below the video, instead of the right-hand side if you're on PC. But apologies again for the internet issues that we had earlier on in this race. Hopefully it will stay constant throughout the rest of our broadcast that we have planned. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and sign off here from Motorsport. Thanks again to Eric Gonzalez for joining us. I have been Gary Weaver, and, well, in terms of the Racing Line Broadcasting Network schedule, we'll see you at Atlanta for the My Turn Racing Truck Series. But if you're here just for the Fuel Jetstream Media IndyCar Series, we'll see you next week at ISM Raceway. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.